Hi there. So someone said I should share how to create a monthly budget. And in this video today, I want us to go hand in hand, step by step on how you can create a simple monthly budget. Because without a budget, you are not planning your money and you're just planning to fail. You need something that is steering you on how to spend the money that you have made wisely. So I'm going to share with you a simple monthly budget outline, and I'm going to be using the whiteboard. So I hope you learn something, and also remember to let me know in the comment section. You can ask questions there or what you've learned, and if you think it's a simple one, because for me it feels simple, but you can just let me know how you feel it is. So let's go ahead and start showing you how to do the monthly budget. And if you are meeting my face for the very first time, my name is Fiona. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, like, share, and also comment in a positive or any kind of a comment. I'll be glad to learn also from you, and I'll be grateful. So let's go ahead and we do that. So let us start a monthly budget. So we are going to do a monthly budget. How a simple one. For which month are we in? We are in April, so we do for May 2026. So a budget, as I know you know what a budget entails. The first thing is your income. Where are you getting your money from? So if you're employed, here we'll have salary one. I'm saying salary one, assuming that you have a partner. So there is salary two. If you have a partner, if you don't have a partner, this is not there. But let me do an ideal, assuming there is salary two from your partner. That is salary two, which is X, and then this is X. And then we have others. These are the other sources of income that you have. You might be drop shipping, you might be having a small business, you might be keeping poultry, you might be having other things that bring an income. So all of them come there, count there. Then you have your total. You have your total there. And if you're a Christian, you believe in tithing, the tithe comes at that point because it is 10% of your gross amount. That is for tithing, for people that tithe. I'm not implying that you need to tithe if you're a Christian. I'm just saying that if you believe in tithing, then you do it there. And now the balance is what we are going to budget for. You get me? You had your income, which is salary one, yours. If you have a partner, that is salary two. If you have other sources of income, they come in here. You get your total X. And then if you believe in tithing, you do your 10%, you deduct it here. So it is X minus maybe Y, and then you get the balance. You get Z is this. This balance Z is what we are going to be budgeting going forward. I hope you have understood up to that point. So when we come to our balance, we are starting there. So we have, I didn't want to wrap this. We have the income. I've explained how you get your income. Then we have our balance, which is Z. You saw it. So the next thing you do is you list down your fixed expenses. What are your fixed expenses? Things that you must pay every month. Those are the fixed expenses. Things you have to. So you have your income. Number two, you have gotten your balance after getting the total. If you're not doing tithing, then you add your total, which is Z. Then you go to your fixed expenses. Fixed expenses are things that you have to. So if you're living in a rental house, number one is rent. The other thing is electricity. Of course, you can't stay in a house that has no light. The other fixed expense that you have to check on is if you have kids in school fees, you have to pay that. That is a fixed expense. The other thing is, in this era, Wi-Fi becomes a fixed expense. How do you survive without Wi-Fi, especially if you're digitalized? And the other thing, we have transport, we have shopping. Shopping, we have the main shopping where you go in, you buy the flour and those stuff. Then we have the minor shopping that you buy daily. You have to budget it. Those are fixed because your family can't stay without eating. The other thing you need is, you need to take care of your nanny if you have kids or if you're employing one. That is a fixed expense. Immediately you get your salary, you pay the nanny because they too are waiting for that salary. They can budget for it. Then we have things like groceries. We have things like beauty. If you're a lady, if you're a man, you need to get your head shaven. You need to do some facial. You need to do your nails. That falls under beauty. And then also we have entertainment. You maybe you go out sometimes in a month. You take your kids to go to the bouncing castles. This will depend on you, but you have to list down your fixed expenses. You might find someone that doesn't have rent because they are living in their own house. So rent is not a fixed expense for them. So this is very individualized. You list down the things that you have to pay, a must, things that you have to. You see? And then after listing that, you allocate. Rent is maybe 10,000. Electricity comes to maybe 1,500. School fees every month I'll be able to be saving 5,000. Wi-Fi is 2,000. Transport, depending on where you work, you just put it. I'm just giving values that don't relate to you, but you have to list down everything and with the amount that it consumes. After listing down everything, now you go to the next thing, which is the next thing. After listing your fixed expenses with the money that they use, you go to debt. So if you owe anybody or bank or Fuliza or whatever, list them here. We have Mshwari, we have Fuliza, we have what else? If you have any bank loan, circle loan, you list all of them there with the amounts. Okay? Then after listing that, number 4, you come to, of course, savings. They say you save before you spend. But now this is a budget. We are preparing the budget so that we can know how much we are able to save. Because you can't save and you have not paid rent. You can't save and you have not bought food. You can't save and you don't have electricity. So after you have listed, you know how much of your income is going to your fixed expenses. Before you get to that down part of entertainment, please write down your savings. For savings, you can divide it into how much you want, but I would say that always have 3 accounts. Make sure you're building your emergency fund. Make sure you're building your emergency fund. Make sure you have your general savings. Ile ya mtoto akigojeka usiku unatoa, ama uambiwe gas imeisha haraka, mwezi haiko imeisha, you get it from them. And then you have school fee savings. Remember, we wrote it as a fixed expense. Save it in the school fees account. And then you can also save for your kids. You can get them those CAB accounts from any bank in Kenya, Equity, KCB, or the Jubo Junior Corp. So for savings, start creating your emergency fund. Don't wait for when you have so much money to save 50,000. Start with just 500 monthly. I'm just giving an example for maybe someone who is not earning so much. For the general savings, you can put something like 2,000. It's an example. And then for the school fees, depending on what you wrote there, you come and copy it here. And then the CAB account, you're starting, so you can even start with 1,000. And when you have money or it is working well, then you can go increasing it. So I want to show you in a graph like how now we get to this. I hope you have understood up to that point. If you don't, please ask in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer you. So we had this, our balance, which was Z. And then our fixed expenses came at M. Let me just give an example. And then our debt is at C. And then our savings are totaling at D. You have made a total of each. So for the debt, you can use the avalanche method or the snowball methods on pay. If you're paying the minimum, that is, I'm assuming that is the C, according to you and your income. So your income is Z. Z, you take away M. Those are the fixed expenses, the expenses that you have to do. At this point, you can forego the entertainment, but I'll tell you, with this life, we used to say that work with no play makes Jack a dull boy. It's true. At least have some little cash. It doesn't have to be all you do is go to work, come home, go to work, come home, pay bills. You have no something that is making your life happy. You're going to end up there. Please spend some little money to entertain yourself. Take yourself somewhere, have a nice meal, take yourself somewhere, swim, take yourself somewhere and do something good. Just don't work for work home, and then you end up dying. We all die at one point, but please live well. So your balance, for the income, you take away the fixed expenses, you get P. That is the money that you have. So for P, you take away a D. You first save, then you pay your debt. That is always working. You first save. So you save D, you get K. Then K take away C. The debt, pay the little by little till you're done. After deducting that, maybe you got P. You got which other one? D. So this D is the money that has not been allocated. This is now the money that you can use for your impulse buys, for those extra things that you have not budgeted. But by the time you got to D, your fixed expenses are well catered for, your savings are well catered for, and you have paid some of your debt. It is not possible to pay all of it. It depends with how much it was. But kama umepunguza, that is the way. Unapunguza kidogo kidogo till you have no debt remaining. So this is how to create your simple monthly budget. You just have your budget set for May. You list down your income. I showed you how to list the income, salary 1, salary 2, others. And then if you're a tither, you tithe. And then now you have your balance, which is Z. And then you list down your fixed expenses. Each household is different. What I use for beauty for myself will not equal to another lady. What we use as a family might not equal to another family, or for like we are. People are different. What we feed is different from what others feed. So our total for groceries will be different, just like our income is different. And then our debts, how much I owe people, how much my hubby owes people, is different from you and your husband and your partner or your wife. So you can't really say I put the figures. Maybe I come up with like, let's budget for 30,000. Let's budget for this. But eventually you have to go down, sit down, and then list down as per your commitment with debts, your commitment with savings, your commitment with fixed expenses. And then when you get this D, and it is a lot of money, you can put some more into savings, or you can put into entertainment, or you can just lay it aside and create another savings account. Like, these are the extra savings, but don't go for just impulse buying or misusing the money. I hope you have learned something. If you haven't, ask me in the comment section. I'll be glad to engage with you. And also, I'll push you to create a budget. It works. It really shows you where your money is going, and it helps you to even grow your savings account.